Picture this. You're scrolling through TikTok at 1 a.m. when every phone in London simultaneously screams with an emergency alert. The message is chilling. Major fire detected, central London, evacuate immediately. But this isn't just any fire alert. This is the return of London's most terrifying nightmare, armed with 21st century fury. What if the Great Fire of London, that devastating inferno that nearly erased England's capital in 1666, struck today? What if those same merciless flames that consumed medieval London now faced off against our smart cities, thermal drones, and AI-powered early warning systems? The answer isn't as simple as you might think. Let me take you back to that fateful September morning 359 years ago, when a single ember changed the course of history forever. In the early hours of Sunday, September 2nd, 1666, London's fate was sealed by an oversight that would make any modern baker cringe. Thomas Farriner, the King's baker on Pudding Lane, had just finished his nightly routine of making ship's biscuits for Charles II's navy. He carefully raked the coals in his ovens and went to bed, confident that the fires were safely contained. He was catastrophically wrong. By 1 a.m., Farriner's house was a blazing inferno. The family escaped through an upstairs window to the neighboring house, all except the maidservant, who was too frightened to try. She became the fire's first victim. When Farriner joined the crowd gathering on Pudding Lane, the fire had already consumed most of his house. But here's where the story reveals just how preventable this disaster could have been with modern technology. London in 1666 was a tinderbox waiting for a match. The city of 500,000 people was a maze of cramped streets and timber frame structures, many built with flammable pitch and tar. Stables filled with hay and straw were everywhere, and cellars and warehouses were packed with combustible materials like turpentine, lamp oil, and coal. The real killer. A months-long drought had left most of the wood buildings kindling dry. Here's a detail that will make you cringe. In 1666, there was no organized fire brigade. Firefighting consisted of leather buckets, axes, and water squirts tools with little effect against a major blaze. When Lord Mayor Sir Thomas Bloodworth was awakened to inspect the fire, he dismissed it so casually that he reportedly said, "Pish, a woman might piss it out," and returned to bed. This single moment of misjudgment would cost London dearly. But what if Mayor Bloodworth had access to modern fire detection systems? What if Farriner's bakery had been equipped with 21st century technology? Let's reimagine this catastrophe with today's smart city infrastructure. Fast forward to today, and London has transformed into one of the world's smartest cities. Modern London buildings are equipped with Internet of Things sensors that continuously monitor environmental conditions, detecting temperature anomalies, smoke particles, and even gas concentrations in real time. In our 2025 scenario, Farriner's bakery would be a very different place. IoT temperature sensors would have been monitoring the ovens continuously, providing warnings the moment temperatures started to rise beyond safe parameters. Smart smoke detectors, equipped with motion sensing technology, would have automatically detected that Farriner had left the kitchen area, beginning a countdown to shut off the stove systems automatically. But let's say, for the sake of our story, that these systems somehow failed. Maybe there was a power outage, or perhaps a cyber attack had compromised the IoT network. The fire still starts, but what happens next changes everything. The moment the first flame ignited, IoT-connected fire detection systems would alert the fire department automatically. Within 60 seconds of ignition, London Fire Brigade's command center would receive exact GPS coordinates, real-time temperature readings, wind speed and direction data, live video feeds from nearby CCTV cameras, and thermal imagery showing fire spread patterns. But here's where things get really interesting. Within 3 minutes of the alarm, a swarm of autonomous firefighting drones would launch from strategic points across London. These AI-powered drones can automatically detect, investigate, and suppress fires using advanced thermal imaging technology, unlike traditional methods. Drones can detect temperature anomalies that might go unnoticed by human observers, even in challenging environments with heavy smoke. The lead drone hovers 100 feet above Pudding Lane, its thermal camera painting the scene in vivid colors, orange and red marking the fire's heart, yellow showing heated surrounding structures, cool blues indicating safe zones. But remember, this is the Great Fire we're talking about. In 1666, it had an ally that made it nearly unstoppable. A violent east wind encouraged the flames during the whole of Monday and part of Tuesday. In 1666, the strong easterly wind spread the bakery fire, causing it to leap from building to building. In 1666, this wind was a disaster multiplier. But in our modern scenario, AI-powered fire drones can predict fire spread based on real-time analysis of topography, wind patterns, temperature, and humidity data. Our 2025 fire response system would have access to hyperlocal weather data updated every 30 seconds. Advanced AI algorithms would calculate precise wind vector changes, atmospheric pressure variations, humidity fluctuations, and temperature gradient maps. The system would predict with 94% accuracy exactly which buildings the fire would reach in the next 15 minutes. But what if the wind was too strong? What if the fire spread faster than even our modern systems could contain it? This brings us to one of history's most fascinating eyewitnesses. Samuel Pepys, the famous diarist, wasn't just an observer. He was actively involved in the crisis response. When he realized the gravity of the situation, it was Pepys who traveled to the Palace of Whitehall to tell Charles II that the city was on fire. Pepys recorded scorched pigeons falling from the skies, people flinging their belongings into the river, a singed cat pulled alive from a chimney, flakes and drops of fire floating across the city, glass melted and buckled by the heat. Here's my favorite detail from Pepys' diary. When forced to flee his own home, Pepys famously buried a valuable round of Parmesan cheese in his garden to save it from the flames. This wasn't just quirky behavior, it was part of a desperate survival strategy that thousands of Londoners employed. People buried or hid what valuables they couldn't carry, while Pepys carted his other belongings off to Bethnal Green. But what would evacuation look like today? In our 2025 Great Fire scenario, evacuation would be orchestrated by AI systems that put Napoleon's logistics to shame. Every smartphone in London would receive personalized evacuation routes calculated in real time, taking into account current traffic conditions, available public transport, safe zone capacity, and individual mobility needs. Thermal imaging drones excel in low-visibility environments and help responders locate trapped individuals. These drones relay GPS coordinates in real time and can even deliver essential survival supplies to trapped people. Remember that singed cat Pepys wrote about? Fire departments have successfully located lost individuals within 5 minutes, using thermal imaging that pierces darkness where ground crews would have struggled for hours. But here's where our story takes a darker turn, because even with all this technology, a Great Fire scenario in modern London would still be catastrophic. London's population has grown from 500,000 in 1666 to over 9 million today. The density in some areas is 30 times higher than medieval London. Modern smart homes and IoT systems create new vulnerabilities, with electrical safety risks, potentially creating fire hazards that didn't exist in 1666. Imagine this scenario. The fire starts during a cyber attack that cripples London's IoT infrastructure. Smart fire systems are offline. Thermal drones are grounded. The city's digital nervous system is blind. Without AI-enhanced fire detection systems, London would revert to the reactive firefighting methods that failed in 1666. The original Great Fire raged for 5 full days, destroying 13,000 houses, 87 parish churches, the Royal Exchange, Guildhall, and St. Paul's Cathedral. In 1666, news traveled at the speed of a running messenger. In 2025, panic spreads at light speed through social media. False reports, Rumors and viral misinformation could trigger mass panic that overwhelms even the most sophisticated emergency response systems. Remember, in 1666, residents blamed foreigners, particularly Catholics, the French, and the Dutch. An innocent French watchmaker named Robert Hubert was hanged based on false confessions, even though he wasn't even in London when the fire started. In our modern scenario, imagine the conspiracy theories and social media witch hunts that would unfold as London burned. The economic impact would be exponentially worse than 1666. But let's step back from this apocalyptic vision. There's something remarkable about London that both history and technology prove. This city knows how to rise from ashes. Although the Great Fire was a catastrophe, it cleansed the city. The overcrowded and disease-ridden streets were destroyed, and a new London emerged. Sir Christopher Wren designed a new St. Paul's Cathedral with dozens of smaller churches around it. To prevent future fires, new houses were built of brick or stone and separated by thicker walls. Modern London has incorporated centuries of fire safety evolution. Building codes now prevent the narrow alleyways that fueled the 1666 fire. The modern London Fire Brigade represents 350 years of firefighting evolution. Urban planning lessons from 1666 shaped London's growth, creating the diverse, resilient urban fabric we see today. What makes modern London truly fireproof isn't just technology's redundancy. Multiple water sources, underground fire mains, helicopter landing sites on major buildings, and evacuation routes are built into the city's DNA. Modern firefighting systems feature continuous monitoring, remote diagnostics, and centralized management that provides instant notifications and enables proactive maintenance. Advanced thermal imaging and AI-powered fire detection systems can detect fires within 30 seconds. Autonomous drones arrive within 3 minutes, precisely deploying fire suppressants while providing real-time intelligence to ground crews. Heavy-lift autonomous drones can carry and release fire-retardant payloads to target inaccessible flames, executing pre-programmed flight plans based on AI assessments. Smart fire detection systems use artificial intelligence and machine learning to analyze activity patterns throughout buildings, offering predictive capabilities that alert building managers to maintenance requirements before they become critical failures. These systems adapt based on changing environmental conditions and integrate with other building systems for comprehensive emergency response. After analyzing 359 years of technological advancement, here's my assessment. Could a fire start in a modern London bakery? Absolutely. Human error and equipment failure will always exist. Could it spread like the 1666 fire? Highly unlikely. The combination of modern building materials, fire suppression systems, professional firefighting capabilities, and early warning technologies makes a citywide conflagration nearly impossible. In the best-case scenario, advanced systems detect the fire within 30 seconds. Autonomous drones arrive within 3 minutes, and the fire is contained to a single building with damage under £10 million. Realistically, the fire might spread to 3 to 4 buildings before being contained, with total damage of £50 to £100 million. Even in the worst case, multiple system failures and extreme. Whether professional firefighting and modern infrastructure would limit damage to £1 to £2 billion, comparable to major industrial accidents, but far from the civilization-threatening event of 1666. The real difference between 1666 and 2025 isn't the technology, it's the people. Pepys recorded that even King Charles II helped fight the fire. That spirit of community response, combined with professional emergency services and advanced technology, makes London incredibly resilient. Even if a modern Great Fire occurred, the aftermath would be transformative. Insurance payouts and government investment would fund the world's most advanced smart city infrastructure. Every rebuilt structure would meet net zero carbon standards, accelerating London's climate goals by decades. Emergency response innovations developed for London would benefit cities worldwide. In the 1670s, a monument commemorating the Great Fire was erected near Pudding Lane. It stands 202 feet tall as a static stone column. If our imagined 2025 Great Fire occurred, I envision a very different monument, a living, breathing smart city district that serves as a testament to human resilience and technological innovation. The technologies developed to protect London: AI-powered fire prediction, autonomous suppression drones, IoT sensor networks, and smart evacuation systems would be deployed worldwide, making every city safer. Imagine California's wildfire protection using London's thermal drone swarms, Mumbai slums protected by IoT sensor networks pioneered in London, or Tokyo's earthquake response enhanced by evacuation algorithms perfected in our hypothetical London crisis. As I finish this story, London sleeps peacefully under a blanket of digital protection that would seem like magic to Thomas Farriner and Samuel Pepys. Thousands of IoT sensors monitor the city's pulse. Thermal cameras watch for the first signs of trouble, and AI systems stand ready to coordinate responses that would have saved medieval London in minutes rather than days. The Great Fire of London was a defining moment, a catastrophe that ultimately made the city stronger, more beautiful, and more resilient. If history repeated itself today, armed with 21st century technology and 350 years of hard-won wisdom, London wouldn't just survive, would emerge as the world's first truly fireproof city. Just as Christopher Wren's inscription in St. Paul's Cathedral reads, "See, monumentum requires circumspice if you seek his monument." Look round, so too would our response to a modern Great Fire become a monument to human ingenuity, technological innovation, and the unbreakable spirit of London. The flames that once consumed London taught us to build better. The fires we prevent today with smart technology honor those lessons. And the challenges we face tomorrow will only make us stronger. Sometimes, the best way to appreciate how far we've come is to imagine how far we might fall, and then realize that we won't. Because we've learned to build cities that refuse to burn.